Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live from Dallas Trading Floor. It is Monday, the 22nd of November, and it looks as if, it looks as if we're seeing some strength in Tesla finally. The Nasdaq seems to be stacking back a little bit. Boeing is retesting a buy point, so hopefully we can go in there. I did make some buys this morning. I had some good luck on MKI, which is MK Instruments. I did buy that. I had a buy stop limit order in on that one, and that seems to have pulled to the right level. So that's kind of exciting. So it seems as if we're making some progress here, and we may be back to kind of a situation where we have some more stuff to look at from the Nasdaq side. Of course, we've been doing this rotation, and the rotation is going well, but many of the Nasdaq stocks haven't seen the love. So hopefully we're back. I typically like to invest in growth stocks. There was a scare last week, of course, with the potential raise in interest rates, and of course that is not a very good thing typically for growth stocks. It just doesn't work very well for them. So anytime you see an interest rate move up, that's when you got to be careful with growth stocks, and that's when there's typically a rotation to cyclicals, and that's what's been kind of going on for about the last 3 weeks. So good thing Nasdaq came back up to the 50-day line. It's up about 1.74%. That's a good thing. Anything above 13,400 I'm going to take. Also, we had some good strength in the S&P 500. The Dow Jones is up also as well, but a fairly weak fairly weak movement on that. So we can't start, we might just put a little toe back in the water right now. It's not necessarily, everything is not totally, it's not totally fixed yet. So until we get back to where we've been. Just want to show you the Nasdaq Composite. This is the important one, at least for me, because this is where all the growth stocks live. We did have some good movement up today on Microsoft and Apple. I did move into a very small position on Microsoft as it pushed beyond the key level of 227. So I did move into there. On the Nasdaq Composite, we did have a nice movement up today to the 50-day line. That's this red line here, and that's important because that shows maybe we've tested now, and maybe we're moving back up. Just don't know. We're still kind of in a transitionary period. We want to be really careful about entering new positions right now, just because it's not quite as robust as it was, several months ago. Kind of want to show you the chart on Tesla. I think that's important because this is a very key stock when it comes to the S&P 500, and it has moved up today, looking like it's moving beyond that very key level of 680. I'm currently not a buyer yet. I want to see it gain a little bit more strength and show a positive reversal above about 720. But Kathy Woods did come out today with a very strong recommendation. She's saying basically in 5 years it'll be above 3,000. Well, we can only hope. But the volume is up. That's very good. Up $34.47, or about 5.72% today. So very strong when it comes to, Tesla. I did find a very interesting stock, and this is based totally on relative strength and composite rating. There has been some very good movement in the chip equipment area. Of course, probably people have been watching Applied Materials, but this is an interesting little company out of Arizona that makes equipment that's not exactly in the chip equipment area, but it's important in the chip development process. And this is it's an array packager, and it provides test services for the industry. Relatively small stock, but very nice in terms of its composite rating. It's a 98 composite rating. It's up 15 cents today at 24.12. This is one you might want to put on your watch list. AMKR is the symbol on it. Volume's down a little bit, but it's still got decent volume. We have a very strong relative strength line at 90, and we've seen some very good movement on this. I have another chart here that shows very, very strong, very, very strong movement on this on this one. So AMKR is the symbol on this one. Amcor Technology, and it's based in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, a place that I very much like, especially in the winter. Okay. Next one up, of course, is Boeing, and I was shaken out of Boeing in the small portfolio. By the way, if you're interested in getting a look at the small portfolio, it's very easy. Just to get on the mailing list, of course, it's free, and that is at SendFox, www.sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. Well, anyways, this is Boeing, and I just want to show you it did move. It's back into the buy zone. It moved above the buy zone, so it really wasn't viable. I got shaken out of it. But again, it has moved back in. It's at 254.92. It's off a little bit today, but it's right back in this buy zone. The buy zone being from about 244.08 on up to just a tad above 250, about 250, about 255 on the buy zone. So about 244 up to about 255. So that gives you kind of an idea of where you can possibly enter position in Boeing. You have to be very careful. It is forming this handle. It has a cup formation, and so it is likely to possibly pull a little bit lower and then move higher. Currently, it's pulling lower, so you don't want to buy it on a downward motion. You probably want to set a buy stop limit order, and I would recommend it above $255 probably would be a good place, but you might want to actually set it a little bit below. So let's trade back to the 10-day line, and then maybe about might be at a right position. This is the largest stock, by the way, on the Dow, so it's very critical, and it does. I mean, there has been some weakness in the airline industry. It went up and then it pulled back, but this one looks. I think that the buy orders are going to be in for the planes. At least that's what I'm seeing. So I wouldn't go in this with a full position. Probably a half or a quarter position on this one would probably make sense. Here's the issues that I'm in currently today. I was in Fluor. I was knocked out of everything else. Fluor is down a little bit today. Of course, that's one of the largest construction companies in the world, and probably will benefit from infrastructure spending that's possibly coming up in the Biden administration. I did enter a position in Microsoft. It moved, it moved up about $6.07 today. It's basically, it's still in this kind of buy range. MKSI, this is MK Instruments. This is a semiconductor instrument maker, and it's up about $4.96. And then I was also in Lowe's, which is, of course, the famous home improvement company, and also, for contractors and everything like that. So those are the ones that I'm in currently: Fluor, Microsoft, MKSI, and Lowe's Company. So here is the list, and I kind of want to put this out here. And this is a list, interestingly enough, of very relatively thinly traded, low-priced stocks that are very highly rated. And what I will do on this one is I will put this out on the Action Trade Alerts tonight. It's free. I'm going to put out a list of about 100 stocks that you might want to, maybe not quite 100, but about 50 stocks that are very highly rated, that are very relatively small in terms of their float. Now, as you can see, all of these are down today, so not the greatest. But these are small banks, and typically, primarily, I do see some strength in that area. This is a list that, I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy these right now, but it's something that you might want to put on your radar screen, and that is the small banks. Again, they're available, of course, if you're able to. Let's see if I get trying to get my. There we go. Oh, we've lost the camera right now, so let's start that again. Sorry about that. We've lost there we go. We've lost the camera, so we should be back now with that. Basically, wanted to show you, this is on the small portfolio. here. These are ones that might be of interest to you. Most of them are very small. Haven't heard of hardly any of them, but MYFW, I have heard of that. First Western Financial. So that one seems to be working very, very well. So without further ado, let's get to some of the let's get to some of the questions. Let me pull up my new window here. Well, goodness gracious. Let's see if I can pull all of this up. Yeah, okay. There we go. And that's going to be... There we go. Taking just a second for things to pull up here. We'll get to the first question. All right, perfect. There we go. Okay, now we're cooking. All right, let's get to some of the questions. Thanks for holding on, everybody, and happy Monday to you. Any thoughts on the financial sector? Any on your watch list? Well, actually, that's a really, really good question. I appreciate that, Nathan, very, very much. I do have some. Some ones that I'm going to be putting on there, and that is these are the smaller. These are smaller banks, and I do think that they're going to do quite well coming up here. So. That's something that I kind of wanted to possibly show you here. Let me see if I can pull up a kind of a listing of those so you can see that. There we go. And now I haven't actually put these on the list yet, but on my watch list yet. But I just really kind of came through with some of these ones. I think it's a really good question regarding regarding the potential for some financials, and where I see the best opportunity right now in that area is with some of these smaller companies. And let me see if I can kind of show you this. This is my listing here. So let's go down and kind of take a look at some of these here. Here we go. These are the ones that I kind of was able to find. And I'm going to show you the first one. This is a very highly rated. This is First Western Financial. And let's pull that up a little bit so we can take a look at it. Just kind of show you kind of what I'm looking at. And by the way, I'm going to put this out on the Action Trade Alerts tonight. This is the #1 rated one. This has got a 99 relative strength, and so you might want to put this one down. MYFW, and it seems to be doing quite well. I mean, the particulars are very, very good. I mean, as you can see, I mean, it's got a very strong composite rating. EPS is excellent. Relative strength is good. Now, this doesn't trade a lot. I mean, this is a relatively small cap stock, so it's going to be a little bit more volatile than some of the other ones. But I think that's one you might want to take a look at. We also have some of these other ones as well. So let's kind of see if I can give you kind of 2 or 3 really good financial ones. And all right, so there we go. There we go. Okay, so, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to. Now, these are relatively inexpensive stocks, so hopefully we'll get it to come up here. Come on. Yeah, there we go. No, we don't have it. It's just not wanting to respond to me. Okay, hold on. There we go. Yeah. Anyways, well, in order to get those, basically what you need to do is to make sure that you're on the list. I'm going to send it out to everyone tonight. So basically, it's just the free Action Trade Alerts, and it's at www. Of course, Sinfox.com/Dell's Trading Floor. I'm going to send out a list of these are basically a list of 50 stocks that are relatively thinly traded and are very are very good in terms of their relative strength. Most of these are small banks, but we do see that in the financial sector there's going to be probably some good opportunities there. And if you're watching on TikTok, super duper easy to get on this list. Basically, just go to the profile, and with the profile you can then see the you can see the you can get on the action trade alerts at www.Dallas Trading Floor. So just go to my profile, and then there's a link tree, and I need first and last name, of course, and it's all free. First and last name and email address, and you'll be on the list for the list of 50 under $10 stocks that are highly rated. Most of these are going to be in the financial sector right now. That just seems to be the way it's going. So, let's see if we have a question from TikTok. Thanks everybody for holding. Thanks for joining and taking a look today. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Well, thank you for following me. Appreciate it. By the way, hey, super. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Okay, Infinity. Can you simplify? Okay, well, I may do that a lot lower time. Okay, 42 is the answer. I like that. All right, I'm just scrolling through some of the people on TikTok right now so everyone can see. Okay, well, thank you for joining. All right, well, let's look at the next question. And thank you very much. This is for financial, best thing to do is to hold tight, and I should have a list out for you of about 50 stocks that you might want to take a look at. Okay, do you think that Blink is rebounding? Let's take a look at Blink here. Blink was one of my favorites. It's along with the rest of the market. We've had a pullback. And this is why it's so important that you put that stop loss in, because you never can tell. It does. Let's see if we've had a reversal. I'm going to show you the chart that I have currently. And by the way, I have put this one on my action alerts here. All right, this is the chart for Blink, and if you can see, I have drawn a trend line. It looks as if we may have a reversal. I want to see some more strength, though. I really want to see it move above. I really want to see it move above about this level here, and the reason I do is because that will show that it has enough strength to possibly go higher. So, for some reason, it moved over to Texas Instruments. I don't know why that's the case. BLNK is the there we go, Blink charging. So for some reason, it's my machine has been kind of jumpy as of today. I mean, it seems to like it has a mind of its own, and it doesn't quite want to behave. So it's moved above the 21-day line, but the area I think that you want to buy it off of is as it moves above this line here. So I'm going to set an alert, and basically what that is that's an alert if it goes above the 50-day moving average. Now the question is, where is that 50-day moving average? Well, it's about, okay, come on. There we go. All right. So that 50-day moving average is right about 40.26. So basically for Blink charging, right now, it's really not time to buy it. It needs to go above about $45 a share. So if Blink moves above about $45 a share on good volume, it still has a strong relative strength. I think it's a buy, but I think you got to be a little bit careful right now. The market is a little bit more. It's a little bit choppier right now, so it's a little bit harder to trade. But here's what I would say. Set a buy stop limit order for Blink, BLNK, at $45 plus 10 cents equals 45.10. And the reason that you want to do that is because that's going to give you that's going to have it that's going to let you buy it as it moves higher. So right now we have this line here, and it's above it's struggling to get above this trend line here, and this is the reversal line. I want to see it move to the 50-day line. If it moves above the 50-day line on good volume, I think we're back in the game here. But we want to wait a little bit to make sure that it's going to do that. Earnings are in 3 days, so it's a little bit risky. I would not buy it today. I would wait until at least 3 days, but I would also buy it above 45 only. I'd wait for it to move above 45 slowly. That's a very good question with regards to Blink. And I still like the company a lot. So it is rebounding. It definitely is rebounding, but not to buy it now. You want to wait until it's confirmed. It's a confirmed reversal. Right now, it's not a confirmed reversal. We want to wait. We want to wait at least 3 days through earnings, and then if it moves above that 45 level 3 days or more from now after the earnings, then I think we could buy it. And the way to do that, of course, is with this buy stop limit order. Set that buy stop limit order at about 45 plus about 10 cents. So as it moves above that 45, if it moves to 45.10, then you will be bought in at that level. You always want to buy as a stock is moving higher. You try not to buy a stock as it's pulling back. It's right today. It's showing some good motion at $2 up $2.55. But remember, be very careful with this because you want to make sure that it's moving up. So I would wait at least for 3 days because that's when earnings are happening, and then hopefully above $45, and we will see that hopefully move better. Thank you for the question. Thoughts on Penske, PAG? I like Penske actually. PAG. I've rented many a truck from Penske, so it definitely is a very good. It's a very good company. I can attest to that. It's pulled back a little bit. I'm going to look at the weekly chart to see give it this kind of the smell test. It's looking, overall, at least in the last, and since about March of last year, we've had a very nice run. So it definitely is moving up. The last buy point on it was basically on a flat base at 62.71. So we're pretty far extended right now on this one. So it's not a good place to buy this one, unfortunately. It's a good company, but we need to let it rest a little bit. And that's very important. The funny thing is sometimes the best stocks, you can't buy them because, they're just not at the right location. So this is extended. Don't not to buy now. Watch list and wait for base. And what do I mean by base? Well, there's several different kinds of bases that you can do. So basically, this is extended. And what do I mean by that? Well, the last true buy point was right here on this what they call flat base, and you can see that on the weekly chart. I'm going to move over to the daily chart here. As you can see, we've pulled back a little bit. This is the last time. It's called a stage 1 flat base at 62.71, and that was the last time really that we had an opportunity. If you'll notice on the daily chart, you're seeing a lot of these red here, and you're seeing this with a lot of volume. This is selling action. So as you can see, we've had some selling action here. So this is the reason you don't want to buy this one right now. It's very extended from here. It needs to be basically to buy it correctly in this kind of market. It needs to be between there and there. It needs to be from the buy point of 62.71 plus 5%, and that's really the only place we want to buy it. And as you can see how it trades, it'll move up and then down and then up and down, and then it takes off. Well, unfortunately, sometimes when the cow's out of the barn, you can't buy it because it'll move up here too quickly. So right now, we want to see it restabilize, form another base, and that's typically either a cup or a consolidation or a cup with handle. And by the way, I have some videos on bases, on the 3 best bases, and they're on the YouTube channel. on the 3 best bases to buy. I just made this video, so it's an easy way to kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here with bases. But right now, with Penske, very nice, very nice company, but I'd be very careful. In this space, I think Lithia is probably the better one than Penske, but right now I don't think you can buy this. It's extended, and it just is to extend it, and it's not a good idea to buy extended stocks. The reason is because if you buy extended, then it can have a propensity to fall back to earth, and it could be very crushing when you've bought it and you think, oh, good, it's the greatest thing, and then it pulls back to the buy point. So you got to be careful. You want to buy within 5% of that buy point. Next question from Kay. Thank you very much. Let's look at QS. QS has been a rocket ship. QuantumScape. I mean, I was not in this one. I probably should have been. It's got a crazy pattern. Let's take a look at the weekly on it. And basically, it's just kind of this rocket ship, sort of a climax top here. And by the way, if you do find one of these and you are trading this, there is a great way to trade this. If you get in on this, and this would be this would have been the correct buy point, would be about right there, because it moved past its IPO base, and then what you do is when you get these, you just move your stop loss up like that each day, and then eventually it goes way up like that, and then it pulls back, and then you're sold out there right now. So can you buy it at this level? Well, it's got a 97 relative strength, which is great. It's doing better than all but 3% of the stocks out there. So that's very powerful. But there's just not a great place to buy this, unfortunately. Now, if I were to buy this one, which I'm probably not going to be, I'd want to be buying it above 71.97. And why would I do that? Why would I pay more when I could pay less? Well, the reason is I want to make sure that it's going to move in the right direction. It looks as if it has a very nice trend here, but we want to be sure that indeed it moves above that certain level. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set an alert at this line, and if it moves above this line, then I'm much more interested, because at that line, then it will become a potential, a potential to buy. But it's got everything doing very nicely. Relative strength is 97. Let's take a look at the checklist. This is a little bit concerning. It's only 55%. I typically like to have 60% or better on this checklist. Now, with the ownership, we have 51 funds in it, which is excellent considering this is essentially a new stock. The industry is 46 out of 197. So that indeed is quite good. So all in all, I like this. I like the stock here. I wouldn't buy it because I want to make sure that it moves above a certain price. So here's my suggestion on QS. My suggestion on QS. So QS, I would set a buy stop limit order for 71.97 plus 10 cents, or 72.07, and that's kind of where I would set it. That's how I would buy this one. Now here's why, because this is what they call a pocket pivot. It's a very small pivot. It's really not long enough to be a true cup or a true cup with handle, but it is a pivot. And this means that it eventually, if it moves above the 71.97, then it's possibly buy. Now currently it's sort of mini basing in there. As you can see, there's the 10-day line, the 21-day line, and it's moved up very, very nicely. But we need to see it above of 71.97 before we're really into an area where we can buy it. We still have some very nice volume coming in, so it looks pretty good. But I want to see it above that 71.97. So the buy point where I would buy it, 71.97 plus 10 cents, or 72.07. That's where I would set my buy stop limit order. and currently after hours it's at 64. So really, it's sort of a watch list right now, but it's an interesting stock, and I think that it could be very, very, very good. Now let's take a look at K's other one, INTT. Let's look at INTT. INTT to see kind of if we can do InTest Corporation. Manufacturers thermal and mechanical. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, for semiconductor. I do like this area, by the way. Now, I did buy MKS today. This is a very inexpensive stock, by the way. It's only $10.51. Is there a place to buy this one? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to go to the weekly chart first. This is sort of how we find our buy points. We look at it, and it looks, for me, that's the last time, it was way back in 2017, that it had a first stage cup, and that was at 950. Now it has moved above that, so that's actually a good sign. Now that was a long time ago, but I want to see a higher high on this one, and right now that's about there. So we're above that higher high, but it's pulled back a little bit. So let's take a look at the daily chart to see if there's any place to buy this. It doesn't really look like there is. But there is sort of this mini consolidation here. So the only place I would consider buying this would be at the all-time high. And right now, I don't think so. So right now, I would say on this one that we just have to watch list for now and wait for a base to buy. So that's kind of where I would be on this one right now. I would basically watch list this one and wait for base to buy. Now let me show you one that I did buy in the same area today, and this is the top rated one. This is a lot more expensive, but MKSI is the symbol. I did buy this on a breakout above the into the buy zone, and I want to show you this one that you might be interested in. It's in the same area. It's called MKSI, and this broke out with a double bottom. This is a very, very good chart pattern, by the way. It'll pull down, it'll test, come up, pull down, test, and then it makes its way up. It's up $4.09 today, and it's in the buy zone. So that's an interesting thing. 177.36 is the buy point, plus about 5%, and that's going to give us the buy zone for this one. Now it's up nicely today. Let's look at the weekly chart. So if you're looking comparing the two, and you want to be in the chip sector, which I think is really, really good area, this is the one I think you want to look at. MKSI. It's a more expensive stock, but I think it has a better potential based on its chart patterns. Its earnings per share were up 95% in the last quarter, so that's looking very, very strong. It also has a little bit stronger checklist than the other stock that we were just looking at. It's an 88 checklist. The ownership is excellent, 767, and many of the very big companies, Lord Abbott being one of them, is in it, and they own almost a little bit over 1.5% of the stock. So that's if you want to be in the instrument area, and this is right now a very good area for the market, is the semiconductor equipment area. The semiconductor, and I think the one you want to look at instead of INTT is MKSI. So that's kind of where I think it is. All right, let's look at VUSI to kind of take a look at that one. VUSI. And by the way, everybody that's looking on TikTok, super easy to get to see the charts that I'm showing to everybody. It's on YouTube, youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor. Now, if you want to go directly to the feed, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is go to www.DallasTradingFloor. I'm sorry, not Dallas Trading. www.DallasTradingFloor it's there as well. Okay, so let's look at HOV. HOV, is that right? HOV. See if I can get that up there. Hovedian. Okay, so this is This is a home builder, big one, and has. Oops, I have lost my. It looks like. Yep, did I lose my? I think I have lost my my feed for my camera. So I've been having some issues with this today. So let's see if we can go back here and get that back. All right, and let's see if I can get the. There we go. All right. Okay. Sometimes it just. There we go. All right. So let's look at Cave Havinian. This is a large home builder, and it's really moved up very nicely. The last buy point on it was at 42.47, and it does have a relative strength of 99. It's a little bit too far extended for my taste right now at 103.80. I do think it's a little bit too far extended. This is you're going to have to watch this one, unfortunately. There are some nice funds in it, 56 funds. The checklist is good at 77. So overall, it's very good. But here's the thing: it's on this one, I think what you got to do, I think what you got to do on this one is watch. Is to oops, is to watch this extended, not a buy now. So here's here's why that you can this. Oops. Okay, this is extended above where it needs to be. You need to wait on this one to form a little bit better base. It's going to be tough because even though this is moving up right up the it's above the 10-day line. It's doing very, very well because they had some tremendous earnings there. 280. 85% was excellent. The problem is the last buy point was basically at 42.47. So we are almost double that. We're still, right on the 10-day line, but, even with the relative strength on this, I think you got to be very, very careful with HOV because it is very, very extended right now. So so you got to watch this one. Unfortunately, it's not a proper buy, unfortunately, on this one, and that's kind of disappointing. All right, let's take a look at. Thanks, Samuel. Appreciate that. Let's look at pens. This is Pinterest, of course, PINS. This is a very excellent company, and let's see if there's just any. See what we can do with this one. It is interesting in that it's definitely fallen below the 50-day line, and it looks like it may be getting some support. That's a little bit concerning. But again, this has been true for all of the. This has been true for all the tech stocks. Is that they have been, they've been below. They have been pulling back, and the question is, which ones are going to, which ones are going to correct and move higher? It looks as if this one may be getting some support at the 50-day line, but it's still above the 200-day line, which is good. But still, the relative strength is good. But this is going to be a tough one because the question is, has it moved positive? Now, here's the thing on this one. This is the daily chart here that I'm looking at. I want to see it move above this level here. So that level is basically 75.35. So here's how I would look to possibly buy it. I would make a small buy possibly because this is a very good stock. It's got an excellent checklist. Here's the thing. I would be looking to make a small buy. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah. Look to make a small buy at the 50-day line, or let's see, track price, or a 75.12. Let's see, 75.12 plus 10 cents equals 75.22. And I would use a buy stop limit There we go. So here's what I would do on Pinterest. I like Pinterest a lot. I want to see it move above this line here. This is the 50-day line. It has good relative strength, but I want to see it. I want to see it make sure that it doesn't reverse on us. It's moved up, and it looks like it may have seen a reversal. It's pulled back a little bit, but we want to make sure that it's on its way upward before we buy it. So we want to buy it above this level here. That's the key. We want to buy it above this line, because at this line I'm going to put an alert there. There we go. Set an alert. I'm going to and the level I'm interested in is on this one is 75.22. So that's kind of where I want to see that alert. I want to see it move above there before I am interested in buying it. But it's good stock, and but we want to see it move on more strength before we see that. We do that. So let's go to the next question. Thank you for holding on. ZM. Okay. ZM. Well, Zoom has it is sort of a transformational stock. Here's the thing, we are seeing some more strength in the Nasdaq, which is a good thing. But I don't like this trend, unfortunately. I don't ever want to buy on a downward trend, and it looks as if we do have one there. I mean, we are now below this very key line here. You see this line here? This is the 200-day line. We have pulled below the 200-day line. So right now, it's not a good buy. Right now we just can't really do anything with it. So, ZM is below the 200-day moving average. Do not buy. Okay, so so basically the thing is we saw our absolute peak back here at 588.84, and that was back in October. And since then we have pulled lower. So unless there's a reversal, and there hasn't been one, I don't want to buy it. It's at 328.50. Now, what I would consider on this one, and this is a little bit more advanced, but it does look like we may have a potential for a short. I want to look at the weekly chart to see if if we can do that. It doesn't really look like we can, but this is the left shoulder here. This is the head, and this is the right shoulder. But here's the problem with shorting it at this level. The right shoulder has to be lower than the left shoulder. So it's not even a short right now. Let's see it move. I think it's probably going to move below. I think it's probably going to below the 200-day line. It's already below the 200-day line, but I think it's going to move significantly below this. I'm looking at the monthly chart here, and as you can see, it pulled all the way up here, almost 600, and then it's pulled back. So this is sort of taking the 20,000-foot view. So currently, I see this thing moving lower. So I am possibly looking to see a short between about this and about 300. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on it. So right now, with Zoom, I don't think you can. I don't think it's a buy. It might be a short, but it's definitely not a buy right now. It's not a buy, and that's not necessarily the greatest thing. So let me see if I can find a question from TikTok. Thank you very much for taking a look. Is your math channel? Well, basically, what I have is for everybody looking on TikTok is that I have a YouTube channel that I'm running simultaneously. This shows all the charts that I'm looking at. It's very easy to get this. All you have to do is to go to my profile on TikTok and then click the link that says beacons, and then you will see you will see this this live being done. And by the way, after 30 minutes after the end of the show, the full video will be on will be up for you, so you can look at it if you want that way too. So kind of a good thing when it comes to that. All right, so let's look at the next question. Thanks for hanging on here. Thanks, drunk. That's good. Let's look at FDX. This is FedEx, of course. FDX. And, this one probably, this is almost, this is getting there. Okay, this is what I mean by a base, okay? This is a cup without handle base. It had an excellent earnings, up 146%. Wow, that's pretty good. And it is creating this long cup base. Kind of want to show you this here. We had earnings per share was up 146%. We had very nice buying going on there. Now the question is it buyable at this level? Well, let's take a look to see if there's anywhere we can get into this. Now, when you're creating trend lines, you need at least three, just like remember in math class. So we go to the top, which is 309, and then we draw the line, and I'm kind of trying to see if I can get two lines here. Well, that's one, and maybe that's two. So that's sort of the trend line. It does look like we have, it does look like we have a trend line on this, which is very, very good. Looks like we've moved essentially above. So do we have a reversal here? Well, it's a weak reversal, but the actual buy point is right up here at a first stage cup, which is not bad, at 305. So where do we want to buy this? Well, we could buy this early, potentially, but let's kind of look to see. Let's kind of give it a smell test first. 88%, so that's pretty good. Let's kind of see 2,063 funds in it. Wow, that's pretty good. JP Morgan large cap, they own almost half, a little bit over half of it. Here's the issue with Federal Express. The industry ranking just isn't that great. It's 188 out of 197. And that, unfortunately, I like to buy, when I'm moving into a stock, I want to make sure that I'm kind of moving along with the whales. I'm kind of like a little minnow, and I'm just moving along. I want to move in to where the whales are moving. And right now, the whales are not moving here. I want to move into the top 20% of all of the sectors. That's where I want to be in terms of that. So here's the thing I would say about Federal Express. It's possibly a buy, but right now, I think you got to be a little bit more careful about it. I would watch this one. I would not buy Federal Express right now, just because it just doesn't have the right look. I mean, that's the main thing. So I kind of want to show you here where we have possibly some of the best growth stocks. So let's kind of take a look at let's try to look at the areas that are where the market is still kind of moving into, and I want to look at the sectors. So I'm gonna hopefully I can pull this up. Let's see. Let's see. First of all, let's see if there's anything breaking out today. Let's kind of look if we can, if we can see anything breaking out. I don't know if anything is breaking out. The only thing I have breaking out today is microgenics. It's the only thing I have breaking out right now. Not very much. So right now, this is all I have for breakouts, and this is pulled above a consolidation. Nice consolidation here. First stage at 32.18. That's the pivot on it. And it's after hours. It was up $2.23. It seems to be doing very well. Relative strength is 90. Let's kind of look to see. I don't even know if I want to buy it, but I'm just looking to see 326 funds in it, 88%. That's looking pretty good. And the industry is, it's 102. So it just really is, even the breakouts aren't working right now. So I can't really give you a good feeling on that one. So, I have to nix Federal Express. I have to nix the other one. So, well. Where are you? Well, I'm in Dallas, Texas, on Preston Road. It's an interesting place. Home Depot. Let's look at Home Depot. That's HD, I believe. I'm in Lowe's right now. Not in Home Depot, but I think that Home Depot might. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Nice after hours. Up 3 cents after hours. Let's take a look at Home Depot. It's still below the pivot. The pivot on the consolidation base, second stage, 292. 95. So it's still below the consolidation. The relative strength is weak, 45. It did have a nice bounce there. Let's kind of see. Let's look at the competitors here. Restoration Hardware is really the one I think that you want in this space. RH is the one I think it's doing better than Home Depot. Yeah, unfortunately, Restoration Hardware is way expensive, $529.37 a share. So it's up $13.76. Earnings are in 2 days. I wouldn't buy it. Home Depot. Well, I think the one I think is probably better than Home Depot right now is Lowe's, and that symbol is LOW, and it's right in a buy range. And I did buy this one today, believe it or not. We'll see how it works. You never know. But it did move right. Yeah, it moved up about $2.37, and it's basically in a cup with handle buy point. So that's your best pattern right there, is a cup with handle buy point. So it's still in a buy zone, believe it or not. So if I was looking at Home Depot and I was looking at Lowe's, I think I'd be in Lowe's rather than Home Depot. But I really appreciate that. That's the area has been doing very good in terms of action. So the home improvement places have been doing great. What do you think about VUZI? VUZI. VUZI. And take a look at that. That's Vuzix. Excuse me. It manufactures monocular and binocular video eyewear. Kind of interesting. After hours is up 27 cents at 27.90. Let's take a look at the chart on that. Kind of get a look to see how it's doing. Let's first of all look at the weekly chart. Okay, so this is kind of it's kind of all over the place. I want to kind of look at the monthly chart to see kind of how. Yeah, okay, so it basically is at a higher high, which is good. Anything above 12 is anything above 12 is pretty good. I'm liking that. It's up to 20. I have no idea why it's doing this, but the monthly, it has been increasing on a monthly basis. Let's just kind of see if there's anything. Well, there's a lot of, there's a good checklist. 88. That's a great checklist, by the way. Let's look at industry is excellent. 9. This is consumer product specialty. 33 funds in it. Not a whole lot. Is there any news on this? Why is this crazy? Enterprise use of augmented reality blazing a path for consumer smart glasses. Well, this is obviously it. Let's take a look. Why is that? That's interesting. See if we can find a reason here. I'm taking a look at this article. Why would this one be doing great? But it seems to be. So, okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, so they've got to deal with Microsoft. So, I'm beginning to kind of understand. Let's look at this article that we've got here for this one and see. So this is interesting. So we've got this augmented reality. So Consumer Focus work with developed smart glasses. Microsoft and Vuzix are making major strides with augmented reality headsets for enterprise applications. These developments include a blaze path for AR glasses. Interesting. Okay. Well, this actually might have some actual. So this is very interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Microsoft March 2nd. HoloLens AR set. So, with Azure. Okay. Well, that's a very interesting. That's kind of interesting in terms of that. So it does look like they have this deal with Microsoft. So that kind of is a big deal. I can see where that would be a big deal. I could see where that could be a very big deal with this. With this. So it's got an interesting story. Now you shouldn't only buy on stories, but I did put interestingly enough, I did have a I did have an alert there. So question is, what would we do? Well, right now it's extended, but it might come back down to the 50-day. And if it would, okay. So yeah, okay. So there is a mini pivot going on. This is the 2608 is the level. This is where I had my alert before. I had it basically right at the 21-day line. So it looks like, here's the thing, let it pull back, and let this one pull back a little bit, Jay, and let's see if this one pulls back to about the, goodness gracious, I'm going to say about that level. I'm going to set an alert there. If it pulls back to that level, I think it needs to pull below that and then reverse higher, that you might have a buy there. So this is, I would look at this one for for a watch list right now. Wait for a pullback below below this level. It's okay. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of the price. So wait for a pullback below about $24 and about $24, and then buy on the reversal. So, and this is not easy to do, by the way. But I think what you got to do is you got to wait for this thing to reverse lower, and move below this 24 level. Then let's see if there's a reversal higher. Buy on the reversal higher, because right now you don't want it. That right now it's pulling back, so it's a little bit, it's not ready yet. But this one might be a very, very good candidate. Interesting story. And I could see where augmented reality, especially in the kind of the commercial space, might be a very big deal. And definitely, with Microsoft moving into it, I think that might be essentially a very good thing. All right, Home Depot. Home Depot move for next week. It might be, Hervé. It might be, but I think you want to look at lows. Let's look at Nano. How's okay. Okay, I definitely covered that one. Your thoughts on Open? Let's look at Open. OPEN. Open Door Technology. Okay, this is a buying the house company. Yeah, we were strong, but we've pulled back. We're in a bit of a downtrend, at least on the short term. Yeah, we have this downtrend. So the question is, can we find a place to buy this? Well, first of all, let's take a look to see if it is buyable. 44 checklist, not looking too good. It does have some. It's 73 out of 197 in terms of the sector. 154 funds are in, so it does have fund sponsorship, so that's good. Let's see. You know what? I don't like this. I want to see it move higher. It is above the 10-day line, which is good. Here's the thing. The last true actual consolidation base would be 34.39. So, I think that you've got to wait on this one. I think you have to wait. Wait for base to form. So that's really my that's really my take on it. You really just need to wait for this. You need to wait for the base to form. There is no base here, so not necessarily, at least in this market, not necessarily where you want to go. The market isn't quite as robust as it was just a little bit of time ago, so it's more difficult to buy here. This is a more difficult area to buy. So I want to see a lot more confirmation on the stocks before I buy them. So that's kind of my feeling on it. One last question. I don't think I got to everybody, but I'll try to get to as many as I can. Let's look at AR. Thank you very much. Let's look at AR real quick. AR. And that is oil and gas. Okay, I'm liking that. I do like some of these resource plays. I have to admit, I really do. Look at this beautiful, beautiful chart. Okay, so let's go to the weekly. As you can see, we have recovered. And look at that relative strength. Wow, you have picked a really good one here. The last essential buy point was at $4.19. Let's kind of look at the monthly. Yeah. So it's coming back. It's coming back. This is an interesting one. I am very much liking this chart, by the way. It doesn't really have necessarily a buy point, but boy, look at that. It's all above the 21-day line. That's looking very good. And look at this relative strength. That is superb. That is superb. It's down a little bit after hours. It's about $10.01. It's just kind of moving up there. It's got a 77 checklist. Wow, I think you could buy this one. Yeah, I definitely think this is viable. I like this. I absolutely like the chart. I like the chart. Viable above 21-day line at, and I'm going to say on this 21-day line, let me just get an idea of exactly where that is. Let me see if I can. There we go. This 21-day line is basically, 960. At net 960. So I think this one is viable right now. Yep. There we go. I think it's viable. I think this is viable above the 21-day line because it's looking very, very nice. Now it pulled up today, so it may get a little bit soft tomorrow, but I think you have a winner here. And boy, thank you so much for that. That's a great one. I'm going to put that on my list of stocks. I do like the fact that it's an oil and gas, which is sort of not a very loved sector. AR is the symbol on it. I want to just, before I go here, I want to look at the industry and sector. It's 8. Wow, that's very, very good. That's definitely going to go on my watch list. I really appreciate that suggestion. That's a very good one. Thank you for that. Thank you for that very, very much. Okay. Well, SM. Let's take a look at another one on this one. SM. Boy, gee, you have some good suggestions here. SM is the other one that we want to title. SM Energy. Okay. Same kind of chart pattern. Look at that. Nice. I think you're really looking in the right place here. I really do. I think this is very, very good. This is offshore. It's a 99 relative strength. Wow. Again, 77 checklist. Very nice. Funds, nice. 8, nice. Okay, this is all very, very good. And definitely, this one is definitely viable above the 21-day line. And it's above the 21-day line. So 16.15 is where you can buy it. It's at 16.92. So boy, this is definitely viable. This is right now, and this is I don't normally say this, but this is viable right now. So I definitely like this one a whole lot. And boy, you've had some really good ones. So AR and SM, I give the thumbs up to both of them. That is a very, very, very good thing. So thank you, everybody, for taking a look today. If you want to get on the action trade alerts, it's super interesting. I'm going to send out a list of financials here that are highly rated, about 50 of them, that you might want to kind of peruse a little bit. Of course, it's free. And basically, to get that, all you have to do is go to sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And to be on it, and if you're watching on TikTok, super easy too. All you have to do is go to the go to my profile, hit the link. It says Beacons, and then a first and last name and an email address, and you'll be right on the list for the Action Trade Alerts, and it's free. So till tomorrow, boy, thanks everybody. Thanks. Happy Monday. I hope that everything is treating you well, and Again, I'm going to be putting out the action trailer. It's probably in about an hour or so with this list of this list of highly rated stocks that are under $10. That'll be on the action trailer today, but you got to be on the list. And you do that by sendfox.com/telestradingfloor. Well, until tomorrow, thanks everybody for watching.